Hello and welcome to one more episode of Free Thoughts. The risk of not thinking by yourself. It is crucial to think by ourselves. If we don't think for ourselves, we can develop the ability, that is not an ability, of letting other people think for us, decide for us. Okay? In the sense that the person loses his senses of thinking and his senses of responsibility. For example, if the person receives some orders or some help from some paid actor, like a mechanic, for example, to do something, and when the person is going to the field and the formula, the theory, it doesn't exactly applies to real life, the person can take two choices. One choice it is to go back to the mechanic and saying, "Hey, boy, this don't work. I don't see what you told me. The cable of a blue collar, maybe it's a gray collar, or this doesn't really exactly it is what you said." For example, and the second person can say, "Okay, the theory." The thing that was told me, it isn't exactly what I'm seeing, but I can extend a little bit the thinking, or I can play with the formula. Okay, why I said it was this cable? Because this cable, it is the cable that is powering the car. Okay, maybe the cable, it isn't blue, but it is with another color, and you see it is the cable that is powering the car, because sometimes it's obvious. For example, the cable that powers the computer is really obvious that is the cable that powers the computer. It's not an HDMI cable, whatever it is. So the capacity to use our previous knowledge and our thinking to extend a little bit and to adapt to the situation, right? I hope the mechanics example resonates with you. With other theoretical things can also be applied here. Lots of things. And so I think in the first option that I told you, this with repetitive frequency and in a childish way, I believe it's a path to not think by the person, not think by themselves, and to not get responsibility by their actions, in the sense of if the things that somebody told me, it isn't exactly what I saw, then I'm going to blame the person that told me, even if sometimes it's just some small little detail, as for example, it is not on the first drawer, but it is on the second drawer, and you can just look on other drawers, right? So the person loses the capacity to think by themselves, and it can explode more easily and faster at a minimal thing. And that is not good, okay? I think philosophy helps with this, and theoretical thinking and theoretical thinking or abstract thinking can help thinking better. So we can adapt what somebody tells us in a way that we develop our thinking muscle and reduce the chances of having digital deduction, like Jim Kwik said on his video. On our video that we made about Jim Kwik, 4 Villains of the Modern World. So I think this is really interesting to think about, because I've seen this, right? I've seen this, and I think it's a thing that we should say more, that it is to get responsibility by our actions and think a little bit more. It doesn't matter if it was the authoritative figure. It doesn't matter if it was the figure authority A or authority figure B or C. We can adapt, we can think if what they are saying makes sense based on what we know, on our thinking, and get a little bit more responsible. Even if this person didn't say the best advice, we can be responsible by hiring them. We could choose some person that could have a better background as a mechanic, for example. We are looking for magic formulas to everything. I'm not sure if that is really the best thing when it applies to every single thing, because we can lose our capacity to think more deeply, think more depth in different layers. And the world, it is not magic. When you are talking about people, society, politics, institutions, business, people want money, people want and want to fill their own agendas. And I think it's interesting to have that on mind, because it can save us time and money, and be thinking more critically, right? Because more than ever we see polarization in society, we see ideology, and I think that can be a gateway to that, to be eaten by ideology and not to think by ourselves. I had this in the university, for example, a teacher, a figure of authority, that technically knows more than me, and technically I would probably not get beat down, but be more submissive to what the person is saying, because this person knows more than me, so I'll probably say more times that she is right. But this teacher was telling things on linguistic terms, that what we should say or what we shouldn't say. And I was just making naive questioning what she was talking about. And I got the perception that in any moment, any moment, the teacher said or pulled the option that she could be wrong on what the language we should or should not use, or if we should legislate that or not. She never put that on the table, okay? And she even sometimes said that she will pretend that she will pretend that I did not make that question. So that's very bad. That's probably not a teacher that I wanna hear a lot, because she pretends I don't make certain questions, and the student is not seeing that the teacher is putting the hypothesis that she could be wrong. So that's not probably a good authoritative figure of authority to lay up on. But it's a figure of authority. Theoretically and technically, it should know more than me. But I don't think that's the case, especially when we have these ideologies or whatever the agenda or the thinking the other person has. And this can happen to everything, because it's an ideology, because the other person thinks that's really what's right, because the other person don't know a lot, don't know enough, whatever reason it is. It can be 1,001 reasons. It could be a better professional, whatever it is. So I believe we can get into the risk of not letting us think critically, and we can lose our minds when we let other people decide everything we do on our life. For example, little problem, hey, I need a formula. Here's a formula to be more happy. Okay, thank you. No. And you apply the formula to every single thing. This has its bonus, but also has the onus, like I like to say. So I believe that's it. Thank you and good luck.